streaming. So it's moving. No.
We're having a special class down here. Fruit.
Okay, we're good.
You're good? You ready to go? All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to start the morning a little bit different. A couple of videos I want to share with you before we start our regular agenda. This first video is basically it's the moon, our moon, is seen from the Arctic Circle. You're on property in Canada near Russia. Video lasts about 30 seconds. Now imagine, if you will, you're here in Canada, and then suddenly the moon appears and disappears before your eyes. It looks like the moon may, in fact, collide with the Earth. Even more impressive, for 5 seconds, a total eclipse of the sun takes place right in front of you. And this video was shot in real time.
Oh, God. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Wait a minute, how do I get that video? How do I get the video? Wow. I clicked on to get the video.
Welcome to the future here at the Detroit Airport. You scan your boarding pass, look up at a giant screen, and you see it only
Video didn't start. Wow. The video started, it didn't do it.
Now, I didn't shoot that. I wish I had, but I won't take credit for it. But it's amazing. Anybody want to see it again?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you say what it was again and then show us?
Well, you're in Canada, and this near the Arctic Circle, and apparently this is a regular occurrence.
Is it on the east or west coast?
It's near, so it's west. It's near Russia.
Here. Okay, west coast.
Wow, look at this. Where do I click? You want to begin? Wow. It's still running.
I think I see some people there.
That's okay. It's running a second.
And that's the moon? Oh, my God.
How many years did it take them to find it?
Complete darkness.
Yeah.
The eclipse was like 3 seconds.
It's amazing. This.
Now how close is this? That's an
That is.
Makes you feel a little small, doesn't it?
Does that happen every day?
I don't know. I got it in an email from a friend who travels a lot, and he said, "You won't believe this," and there it was. The next one here is a preview of coming technology. It's a place called Parallel Reality. It's at the Detroit Airport. This will amaze you.
Welcome to the future here at the Detroit Airport. You scan your boarding pass, look up at a giant screen, and you see only your flight information, even how many minutes it will take you to walk to your gate. But only you can see it. It doesn't matter if you're standing right next to one other person or 100. Each person only sees their own information. Mind's blown.
otherworldly.
I can't see a thing.
That's insane.
Can you read that for me at the top? What does it say?
Hello, George.
What?
No way, that's so cool. I can't stand it. Like, I literally don't. How is that possible?
It's possible because of Albert Ing. Ing started developing his parallel reality technology in 2014.
Above our heads is a motion sensor that detects moving objects as they're walking around. It's non-biometric. It doesn't know anything about each of those objects that are walking around.
Pretty amazing. Congratulations on this.
It seems like a movie set in a slightly scary future where people's eyes identify them to advertisers on big screens. But this technology does not use your eyes or your face. The only thing that identifies you is the shape of your body.
That's remarkable. As you stand right next to me.
So even though the flight boards that exist today have the flight information, it's a list of 100 flights. It's on you to look through that flight information board to find your flight.
Ing says the technology is especially important for foreign travelers who don't always understand what's on the regular information boards. And his plan was to quietly debut this technology in Detroit for the masses, for ordinary travelers, with no facial scans, no apps, no gadgets, just a boarding pass. And his long-term vision?
So as soon as you enter the airport, greets you by name, lets you know where you need to go, which security checkpoint's the easiest for you, arrows lighting your path all the way through the airport towards your gate, reminding you how many minutes you have to walk.
And someday, you could see the technology in hotels, theme parks, and stadiums, all by the time this guy is an adult. Andy Ocean, DOT World, Detroit, Michigan.
Coming to an airport near you.
David, can you share the two websites that you get for those two?
Huh?
Can you share the locations so we can pull that up?
Okay, well, as you may or may not know, we video record all of our meetings, and this will be posted on our website today.
Okay.
So you can go back and look at them all that way.
Web address for pull that up.
Well, if you go to sccah.com, the website, you log in, you go to the club listing, click on Computer Club, and there is a link then that will bring up the video.
Thank you.
Okay, moving with our regular agenda, treasurer's report and so forth. We're doing fine financially, as seems to be our habit. We're looking ahead at having to upgrade the computers in the lab, and as things stand now, price-wise, it would take care of our capital reserve fund in an instant. Thanks to you, we're at $900 plus in our donation to Grafton. And again, every dollar we give them, they turn around and make an $8. It turns into $8 worth of food they can purchase. Membership continues to grow a little bit. We're up to 1515 now as the end of last month. That was outside a sports bar in Cancun. Computer Club Matters. Our 22 meeting schedule, this is the last one for 22. Next month we'll be continuing the second Thursday of the month. The meeting starting as promptly at 9:30 as we can. Donuts and coffee at 9 o'clock. The lab will be open after the meeting today, and it's open Mondays and Thursdays, 9 to noon. The Apple Group is not meeting in January. They're going to be hungover. And the photography group is somewhere out in Arizona, I understand, and they're on hiatus till the 1st of March. Computer Club Matters, our meeting schedule again. Next month, we have representative assistant superintendents from the high school or from the school district to come in and talk about their STEM curriculum. And STEM standing for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. They now have curriculum and STEM curriculum, I understand, from K through 12. Yeah, and I'm interested to see how they're spending all of our property tax. Anyway. Surprise, surprise, our feature presentations for February and March will be announced when we know what they are. I got a ton of these.
Oh, can you go back one? I was just gonna take a picture. My grandson programs with cloud.
If you're looking for a class in December, we don't have any. We're giving the instructors a month off, of course, to polish up and prepare for new classes come the first of the year. Now, this is a touchy subject here, the birthday verification. And I'm just going to do 3 individual slides, but we'll just put them all up. Question is, what are we doing? Why are we doing this age verification? Done some research, and I know there will be an article in the next edition of the Sunday News if you want details. I know the guy that wrote it. The age-restricted community. This goes back to 1968 in the Fair Housing Act of 68. And it was updated in 95. Basically, it states that for a community to promote themselves as a 55-plus community, you have to have 80% of the residences containing, if you will, someone that's 55 or older. And that has to be verified every other year, and you must show 80% of those homes are occupied by someone 55 or older. Personal comment, I'm a little disappointed in management not explaining all of this to the residents, because as I understand it, and I could be wrong, as I understand it, if we don't verify to 80%, we lose our status as a 55-plus community. Now, what does that mean? That means that anyone of any age could buy a house here. The Fair Housing Act gives the 55-plus community can legally discriminate ownership based on age. If we lose that, that means anyone, not that I'm against 40-year-olds, but on the other hand, and what 40-year-old with 3 kids would want to move in here with a bunch of old farts? But we really haven't been informed why we need to do this registration. So if you haven't registered, before you leave the building today, go down the hall to member services or to the executive director's office and confirm that you're 55 or older. Can we do that? Thank you. Oh, this is interesting. I've got this spreadsheet page showing all of the neighborhoods, and I don't know how legible it is, but the ranges of verification, the range goes from 24 to 74% of verified ages. There are 12 neighborhoods at less than 40%. 10 of them are in the 40% range, 16 in the 50% range, and 3 that have verified over 60%. If you're interested, I have a more legible copy if you want to take a look at it after the meeting. But you can see, in this case, anyone here from neighborhood 14? Well, you're at 24%. Yeah. Deanna Logren at the board meeting yesterday said that she thinks we are at a 65% level now. Anyway, I'll keep my comments aside. So please tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell members of other charter clubs. And I know other charter clubs are having the same conversation. I know Woodchucks at their meeting yesterday discussed this. I know other clubs have also talked about it. We really need to get to that 80% because I don't think we want to lose our 55 plus status. I'm off my soapbox, we'll move on. Favorite app, I got a new one. This is tried and true. Over Thanksgiving, we drove north to Minneapolis and we tried out this new iExit app. It's on iTunes and Google Play. What's neat about it is you load it up, you pick your highway, in our case it's Interstate 90, and at the top it tells you where you're at if you don't know. And it asks you, you're gonna go east or west, in our case, and we were going west. At the top of this page, it tells you what road you're on, you confirm it, and you have options what you can pick. Fuel prices, food, lodging, and so forth. I took this, had a trip down to Woodfield, so I was taking some readings. Of course, I did not do this while I was driving. Well, that's one of the defaults when you sign up for this. You have to agree not to do it while you're driving. So you can see put the prices on gas range. In this case, Illinois 59 at the BP station is $4.59. Obviously, you want to avoid that one. And the further you get down toward the city, the prices change. It tells you what the exits are, what's there. Yeah, the thing, I know that it works because we found gas at $2.99 a gallon in Wisconsin. Yeah, and I took pictures. Also, here it gives you a listing of food by the exits. And you can scroll through this and it gives you an idea of what kind of food is available where and at which exits. So that screen was taken at the intersection of Gulf and Higgins. So that's the relationship of the outlets. Neat little app. It's free. Very important.
Were you operating on internet?
No, I was self. It was purely self. It will work on the internet too because, yeah, it will. Now, I would like now to introduce Molly Whiting to come up with our feature presentation, Digital Technology for the Family Caregiver. Thank you.
All right, hello everyone. How are we doing? So sorry I don't have as many good jokes. That was pretty good. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. So like I said, I don't have as many good jokes as that one. That was pretty good. Great stuff there. So today we're going to talk about wellness technology. So first I just want to introduce myself. So my name is Molly. I work for Northwestern Medicine in our wellness department. So I do work with Bonnie. I've been in the wellness department for about 3 years now. So I do have a strong background in fitness. I do have a variety of different certifications, but I do kind of cover all things wellness in my department. So really anything that just encompasses the dimensions of wellness. I'm pretty passionate about that. But today we're going to be focusing on how we can use technology to improve our wellness. So we'll talk about kind of all those little dimensions and aspects of that. So in terms of questions, if anyone has a question, just feel free to raise your hand and shout it out. Otherwise, I'll save some time at the very end to cover any of your questions.
We have microphones on stands, so come up to the mics for your questions.
Oh, yeah, I see that here. Great idea. So don't hesitate to ask any questions, even if it's maybe not related to the technology we're talking about. If it's something different, I'm happy to help. All right, so our objectives, like I mentioned, we're going to talk about that wellness and technology connection, so why it's important. talk about kind of what's happening in the future or how we can stay connected, and then just understanding the different types of technology. There's just so many options, how can we choose and how do they differ?
You're not advanced in slot. There you go.
Okay, ready?
There we go. So I wanted to just throw out a few stats here because I thought it was pretty interesting. Just basically how much we use the internet and just kind of technology is pretty crazy.
Oh, not the way to
Just making sure you're awake, right?
Whoa.
All right, so we're definitely awake now, making sure we're paying attention, right?
Yes.
So as I mentioned, I just wanted to throw a few of these stats out, so I think it's pretty interesting on, how often and how much we're using our technology and the internet. So a total of 5 billion people around the world use the internet today. So that's equivalent to 63% of the world's total population. So, that's not obviously just the US, that's the world, worldwide total population is using the internet. So added together, the world's internet user, sorry, I know I'm going in and out here. The world's internet user will roughly spend 1.4 billion years of combined human existence online in 2022. That's a lot of time on the internet, right? And that's just going to continue to increase with all our technology and stuff. So pretty interesting stuff. So 1.4 billion years combined total online. So that being said, year to year, it just continues to grow. I'm as close as I can get.
No, further away. Back off.
There you go.
It gets fuzzy.
Better?
It gets fuzzy when you're too close.
Okay. All right. So, as I said, there's the 5 billion, and then just overall 60%, 63% of the world population, and year to year that just continues to grow. So more people are deciding to go online, more people are increasing their time online. So it just year after year just keeps increasing. So the average person spends about 6 hours on the internet, which is a lot of time, right? So the average person spends roughly 6 hours just on the internet using various things. And then 90% of that is spent on their actual mobile device. So a lot of people aren't really logging onto their computers much anymore. Instead, they're grabbing that mobile device and an instant click and bringing that up, okay? So I just thought that was pretty cool, kind of put it into perspective. Sorry, this seems to be knocked up a little bit. Okay, so wellness, technology, connection. So why is it important? It's important because of the instant tracking, right? So we have all this at our fingertips. So it keeps us, accountable. It's convenient, right? All these things we can have, at an instant second, right? We just click it and wow, I had this many steps today. My resting heart rate is this. So it's just kind of all right there in that instant tracking every day, all day, if we have those certain devices, right? So we want to use these, to manage those chronic conditions, to understand our numbers. This is for yourself or for your physicians, just to kind of compare how you've been doing, if you're making those changes, is it working? Is it not working? And then there's education. So all these, knowing these numbers, is this a good range? If I see I'm walking this many steps or my heart rate is this, and you're not even sure what that means, you can relay this information and kind of learn, is this a proper, number? What does this mean? Do I need to improve here? Or am I doing great in this spot? So just all at your own fingertips instantly, okay? Which is going to be helpful because that way you can relay this information to your caregivers, to your physicians, and that's just going to, better help them improve your numbers. And then of course, just social interaction and motivation. If you know that, you have the capability of instant tracking, you can compare day to day. So, wow, I didn't really get a lot of steps in today. I need to get moving, tomorrow. or sharing it with your family and friends. Maybe the competition or just the accountability. They see, oh wow, like you said you were going to get these steps and you didn't today, that sort of thing. So just that instant tracking and convenience is really why this has really launched and just continues to become popular and more advanced. So we'll talk tracking technology. There's really just so many different aspects to this. So for example, tracking capabilities, there's a lot of the watches, right? There's different brands, depending on maybe your phone device, or, the desktop that you're using. Like for example, I have the Apple Watch here. I see a few others. There's Fitbit. There's really so many different brands. So it's just continuously growing. So the capabilities of the watches can do your heart rate, your pulse. So, when you're working out, is my heart rate, what's my heart rate at? Or your resting heart rate. So if you're just sitting here, you can kind of see the averages. It can even do your body temperature now. It can do your blood oxygen level. So, the oxygen in your blood. That's important, if you have asthma, COPD, things like that. It can obviously do your steps, which is something that, easily track day to day. It can even do your sleep. So we'll talk a little bit more about, sleep and other apps to do for that. But if you're sleeping with your watches on, of course, workout. So if you're doing any type of workout or even just, yoga, meditation, things like that. Relaxation reminders. I know that every 2 hours my phone gives me a little ding and it tells me, practice mindfulness, take a break, breathe for 10 seconds. If I click on that app there or that notification, it will literally take me through like a breathing routine. So if you like those sort of things, or a reminder to get your butt moving, right? So it might, give you a reminder like, hey, you're not reaching your step goal today, get moving. Or it might even congratulate you, hey, you closed all your rooms today, you completed all your goals, great job. So it gives you kind of that pat on the back, right? It also does kind of comparisons. So it can tell you, what you did for that day or for that week or even monthly. So it can let you know how your progress is doing, right? So maybe you went on vacation and you wanted to see if you could continue your goals. It can tell you that. You can go back and check month to month, week to week, day to day. And then I think it's also fun too, is you can also do challenges with friends and family. So for example, my coworker and I, we, challenge each other and, send a challenge over. We do a week challenge, see who gets the most steps, who gets the most workouts, or, who, slept the best that week. If you like that competition, it's a great way to kind of stay motivated as well. And then as I mentioned, you can pick your own goals. So if you do have some sort of tracking device like this, you can pick the goals that you want that are appropriate for yourself. So mine and Bonnie's goals might be a little bit different. So based on, what you think is achievable or what, keeps you motivated, you can select those based on you. And you can always change them too. So obviously life changes. If in the summertime you're a little bit more motivated, you can have higher goals. In the winter, things might change. You can change them based on that as well. So with the watches, there's really just so many different options. So it's always important to maybe do a device comparison. So really, what are your goals? What are you wanting to track? What are you wanting to achieve? What are you wanting to spend? What kind of devices do you have? So some, they continuously year to year come out with, different advances and stuff like that. But, just comparing what you want it to include. And maybe these, high-tech watches aren't for you. You can always go back to, just a regular pedometer. There's also, even on your smartphones, the health app, which we'll go over a little bit more in detail. They can also track your steps doing that as well. So just taking a look at, what you're wanting to track and just kind of doing that comparison of the different devices. So this is just a small graph. There's so many more options, based on, the price and things like that. So if it's something you're interested in, I recommend just doing a little research online and then, just asking questions, asking the salespeople. A lot of times they can you can tell them what you're looking for and they can kind of give you that feedback as well. And also, like I said, depends on the device that you have too. If you have an Android, iPhone, stuff like that. All right, and then fitness technology. So the fitness technology, there's just so many different options, especially with COVID. That's just kind of a booming apps and just options. It's just endless right now. So we're going to talk about, how to choose from all those options. We'll talk about what the options are, and then just how they're going to be beneficial for you. So I put it in a little graph here because you could go online and Google fitness apps. You could go on your phone in the app store and put, fitness apps, and it is just going to give you a large variety of options. And just reading it, it's kind of hard to decipher, okay, well, what does that mean? What is Fitness Buddy? I'm not sure what that means, So it's important to kind of ask yourself is maybe, again, what am I looking for? What are my goals? Am I beginner? So have I not done anything physical in the last 6 months? Am I perhaps intermediate, where I've been kind of on and off consistent for the last 6 months? And then advanced would be I've stayed consistent for 6 months or more. Would kind of fall into that category. So these phone apps, they do have some desktop applications as well, so you can log in on your computer as well. But these are all great because if whatever section you're kind of in, you can kind of start with those apps there. So they're also different. Your focus could be maybe you're just looking to increase your cardiovascular activity. So one might be more focused on cardio. Maybe you don't have access to a gym or you don't have the gym membership or the equipment. You can choose ones that are just at home or body weight. If you do like the gym or the weights, there's apps that you can select that will give you the pre-plan for the gym. Some people like the actual accountability of virtual trainer where someone's telling you exactly what you want to do. So that's why it's important to pick what you are looking for, right? Because if Bonnie and I have different goals, I'm going to maybe select a different app, or if we're at different levels, we might be selecting different apps, okay? So again, that intermediate there, or that beginner there, it's more of kind of the body weight and sends you like maybe those quick workouts that, maybe a little bit of stretching and yoga, or more recovery options, or maybe more virtual online options where someone is telling you exactly what to do and, it's giving those, correction cues of form and stuff like that. Intermediate might be a little bit more on your own, so sending you those workout plans so you can do them on your own time. And then the advanced is a lot of kind of different variety options. So just maybe more advanced workouts, based on maybe a little bit more weight or a little bit more cardio, things of that nature. So many different options. That being said, I wanted to break it down a little bit more to the virtual coaching. So these apps here, based on your experience level, will do it a little bit more hands-on for you. Okay, so that will be a little bit more in the virtual training. So for example, we might have heard of the Peloton app. So you don't have to have the Peloton bike or the Peloton treadmill to use the app, but that will have the actual trainer doing the exercises and the workout with you. So you literally can follow along. It's going to break everything down for you. And as I mentioned, the workout plans that will actually you can print off, or I'll send you in the app via email what the actual workout is. And oftentimes they have like a little picture or a clip you can click on that will do a video or a description of the exercise. So not as much hands-on, but still giving you all the information needed. And then a lot of these apps have, that dual capability. So they aren't just fitness. They might have that nutrition aspect as well. So you could do your fitness and nutrition tracking all in one app. A lot of them do provide education articles as well. So if you type in, why is strength training important? They can give you kind of an archive of different articles and education, just, again, for knowing the information and why you're doing it is important too. So a lot of education aspect. It's kind of like that social media feed where you can kind of scroll through. A lot of times you can always upload your information to on these tracks, like on social media, or they have the sharing capabilities where I can share with Bonnie that I completed my workout on Peloton, and we can share back and forth too. So again, that kind of accountability. And then I wanted to throw this one in here because I thought it was a little bit different. It's the Train Fitness app. So why it differs is because it actually tracks your reps while you're working out, which I thought was interesting because I don't know about you, but when I'm working out, sometimes I forget what number I'm on. So when you're actually performing the exercises, if you have, the tracking device or your phone, bless you, it can count the reps for you, which I thought was pretty cool. If that's something you're interested in, and then it kind of tracks your stats and analytics. So if you did this weight last month, and then you increased your weight by 5% or something like that, it will track that for you as well. Or you did 10 reps of the bicep curls last month, and now you're doing 15 with the same weight. Maybe they'll give you a reminder, you can increase and stuff like that. So if you like that tracking and, again, that kind of extra help, this is a cool app as well. And then if, you like the walking and running instead, maybe, the gym and the weights is not necessarily for you, that's okay as well. There's a ton of apps for just tracking your walk and run. So My Run is probably the most popular. So you can see in the picture here is the Run Keeper. They're both very similar, but it can actually track your actual route. As you can see in that picture there of the walk that you completed or the run you completed. It will give you, again, all the information, so how fast, how long. Again, a lot of sharing capabilities with these. I see this very popular on social media like Facebook and stuff. You can, put this is what the route I did today. So this is cool too if you like to use trails and stuff like that. Charity Miles, that's another cool app that, I think there is a little bit of a subscription for that, but if you do certain miles and certain things like that, some of those are like they let you know what is for charity. So like the 5Ks, heart run, stuff like that. So it's just all things that are going to kind of be beneficial to towards charity donations and stuff like that. So something to kind of volunteer and give back. So that's a cool app there too. If you don't like the trackers that, with the watches and stuff like that, there are apps for if you have the pedometers and stuff like that too. So you can also use those as well. So yeah, any questions about any of those apps? Yep, it's hard to, go, I can't go through each app, unfortunately, because we'd be here for the whole day. So hopefully, they'll be able to kind of send the presentation out and you can, maybe take a look and do your own research on the specific apps and your specific goals. And then also there's the meditation stuff. So this is more for like the breathing or even like yoga and stuff like that. These are important too. This isn't, just physical activity. There's more aspects to health and wellness. So these ones are important too. It can help with the breathing, relaxing, the mindfulness, even help improve sleep. So these apps are great. Now, a lot of these apps, they do have free subscriptions. Some of them, if you want the full access, you might have to obviously pay for the subscription. So just, knowing and taking a look on, what those offer. But a lot of them do have that free subscription where you can at least take advantage of some of the app there. Has anyone used any of these before? The Calm or Headspace, those ones are pretty popular. Calm it can even, in the app, you can click like a story time and it will have someone actually in a calming voice read you a bedtime story. So yeah, I know. And it's made, like a lot of celebrities do it too. So like, for example, if Matthew McConaughey's got kind of that like different voice, like he has a whole section that reads you bedtime stories, and that's your thing, right? So each app are very similar, but they all kind of offer maybe something a little bit different, or their layout or format is a little bit different. So just checking out, what you're kind of looking for. So if you're looking for maybe just the guided meditation, or you want the yoga as well, some offer both or just one or the other. So that being said, how do I make the decision, right? We showed all the different kind of apps for the fitness and mindfulness. And that wasn't even half of them, right? I could have added a lot more. So I think that's the hardest part in deciding, is it's a little overwhelming. And I agree, it's overwhelming for me too. How do I decide which one to use? Really, as I mentioned, talk about what are your health goals? What have you done in the past? Are you new to this kind of wellness journey, or have you been, staying with it? That's going to obviously decipher which app you're choosing or which application you're choosing. So also, speaking with your doctor or caregiver, or anyone else that that's active in the community, ask them what they're doing or what they use or what they recommend. Using what their knowledge in kind of copying and mimicking what they're doing too. So asking yourself, what are my health goals? What am I trying to achieve? What's my experience in my environment? Do we have access to the equipment? Do we have access, to the walking area, stuff like that? Trial and error. So you might try a couple of these apps and maybe you don't like those ones. Unfortunately, sometimes it's going to take a little bit of time to really find that app that you really enjoy or you like. And then, maybe one week you start with this app, the next week you try another, and then you decipher, okay, this one was, I like the layout of this and the options it provided me. So just experimenting. And then, like I said, try all the free subscriptions, might as well. If it's free, just try as much as you can. If it's something that you really enjoy, then you can obviously purchase to kind of enjoy the rest of the app. There's always, more capabilities with that aspect. And then there's other additional resources. So obviously our phone app and computer is great, but there's other resources too, like YouTube. There's endless options on there. I think the most important is just to know your source. Is the source credible? If you're following, something fitness or nutrition related, make sure it's a credible source and that you feel comfortable with what they're asking of you. For example, if you're doing a fitness class online, and they're telling you to do a backflip or something and you don't feel comfortable doing a backflip, we don't have to do the backflip, right? So, modifying and making sure that it fits you and what you're wanting to do, right? So just being smart with that. And then on demand has a ton of options too. If we do have some of those cable options, they do have some of like the insanity and cardio stuff that have a lot of yoga and things of that nature too. Just depends on your subscriptions. Or you could do things like just little challenges. For example, Darby.com is something, it kind of, as you can see in this picture here, breaks it down into little monthly challenges. So for example, this sheet here, all you're doing is it's a 30-day challenge, and you're just doing 1 minute of cardio a day. So again, just something little you can do to keep yourself motivated, or if you like that competition. It's for example, on the first I do a minute of jumping jacks, then I can cross that out that it was completed and do something different the next day. So there's a wide variety of options on that website too. It's not just the cardio or the one thing a month. There's a ton of different challenges on there too. So maybe utilizing something like that maybe is a little bit more fun. Or taking advantage of your local gym. A lot of the gyms now have that hybrid option where you can do the in-person or online. So they, like for example, I know Lifetime is very popular, pretty expensive, but it has that whole virtual online option where you can literally just have all the classes you want. So it's just like going to class in person. You can select an online class and they'll do everything for you too. So if you're already paying for the membership, might as well take advantage of the online resources as well. So looking into that is important as well. So health technology. So if we have an iPhone, I know Android's app is a little bit different, but even your iPhone comes with this health app. So what it is it automatically comes on your phone. It's just for another tracking device or even a safety device. So you can put all your information in there. So maybe what you're allergic to, are you a donor, am I diabetic, things of that nature. And that is, for other people too, for caregivers, or if God willing, there was an accident, someone can access this and see your information, or it's just something that you can track and share with, your caregivers or your physicians. So it's all that information kind of in one app that you can share. If you're comfortable with that, there's other options for that too. But something to look into if you have the iPhone, you can click that and see all the little different things that they have on there. It is pretty cool. That app also can track your steps. If you don't have any of these devices, it will track your steps as well, if you obviously have your phone with you. Or you can also, they are compatible with the tracking devices as well, so you can connect them together, and then your information would kind of share all into that one as well. So you could see your health app, and then you could also see the information on, any of your watch or sharing devices. So that too can give you your activity, sleep, mindfulness, nutrition. So really a lot of these apps kind of encompass all of them together. But take a look at that, and you can even put your emergency contacts on there too, medications, stuff like that. And then of course, nutrition technology, it's just as popular as fitness, right? So there are, again, a lot of different options. My Plate Plan is great. I'm sure you've heard of that. The desktop version and the app is great. There's literally endless amounts of information, articles, recipes, recipes for Thanksgiving, recipes for the holidays. They even have little handouts that you can print out and hang out that look really nice. Like, 5 ways to add pears into your meals, something like that. So it's just endless opportunity to, learn and just, use these resources. And it's really kind of the best information that you're getting. So it's the most accurate, up to date, on the MyFitnessPal or MyPlate. So it's really credible information. So the information they're providing you is, based on research and safety precautions. So the myplate.gov is great because there's also a little survey or quiz that you can take based on yourself, so how active you are, what you're already currently eating, medications or chronic diseases, stuff like that, and then based on your information, it will provide you with kind of a mock plan, food plan, and then it breaks it down in simple little graphs on you need this many servings, and that would be it'll give you examples of how to reach that serving. So, when someone's like, we'll have 3 ounces of chicken. Okay, if I don't have a scale, how do I know what 3 ounces of chicken is, right? It will tell you, that 3 ounces of chicken is, compatible to your fist. Yep, your hand, exactly. So it gives you little tips and tricks like that. It gives you, examples on, how to track your calories and stuff like that. So great information on there. I also wanted to share the app Fujicate, which is something that's a little bit different. So what you can do is basically you scan the barcodes of the food. So if I had Captain Crunch cereal here, I can scan the barcode and it will give you a little rating based on the calories and such, and how healthy it is for you. So again, this is gonna, decipher on your needs. So, it might be different, based on the calories and stuff that you need, but it will at least maybe give you an idea. I think it's helpful because, when you go to the store, there's 80 different, pastas to choose from. How do I know which one maybe is the better option? Read the ingredients, scan the barcode, and can maybe give you a grade on, the better option. So, something to use maybe while you're grocery shopping and selecting, different types of foods. So, and then some more apps for nutrition. I think MyFitnessPal is probably the most popular, but most of these apps have that tracking capability. So you can, again, either scan the barcode or you can search the name and it'll help you track your calories. It will save certain recipes and meals. So if it's like a home cooked recipe or a meal that you, or recipe you found online, you can add that and just, continuously click that if you, are eating it often. Again, more recipes, meal planning advice, and tips and tricks. So that, again, it has that sort of social media aspect where you can kind of scroll through and click, what you like or the information you're wanting to learn about. Picture submissions. You can even take a picture of your meal and do it that way, or just the sharing capability. So you can share this with your friends, family, personal trainer, or your physician. You can share it and they can see all the things that you're eating, right? So MyFitnessPal, like I said, and Noom are probably the most popular right now. They do have those free subscriptions, and then with, for example, MyFitnessPal, if you buy the larger subscription, it can actually break down your macros, so like your fats, protein, carbs. If that's something your doctor wants you to work on, you can go that in depth into your calorie counting too. So just taking advantage of all the subscriptions and seeing which ones you like best. They're all very similar. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about health technology. So sleep, we talked about this earlier, the watches and trackers, you can often track your sleep and how much you're sleeping. There's also different things like, for example, the Aura Smart Ring. That is literally just a ring that you wear on your finger. So it's just not as bulky, so you can sleep with that. So you can pick bedtimes, set alarms like, hey, it's 30 minutes before your bedtime. It will track, how long you were sleeping, if you're maybe restless or woke up at this time. And then it does that comparison as well. So, over the last 7 days, I averaged this amount of sleep. This is, I think, kind of cool, to see like how we're sleeping, if that's something we're wanting to improve on. These, again, are all very similar, but have different aspects to each. That's if, you're wanting to sleep with your device on. That's why the Aura Ring is kind of popular. It's just a little ring. It's not as bulky. So. And then financials, we know that's also part of wellness, right? So if we have our financials in order, that's going to help, diminish some of that stress. So there's other apps on here to also help with, budgeting or just making a plan, keeping everything kind of together, taking advantage of these. Some are free, some obviously are costs will give you a little bit more. And then a lot of them do also have like, those numbers or links to use to educate yourself or someone to reach out to help you, on the phone or just in more depth. But a great place to start if you're just trying to, get your financials in order and be a little bit more organized. Picnic is another cool one. This is maybe if you're wanting to be more connected with your family and friends. This kind of encompasses a bunch of different things. You can link each other's locations, your calendars. So, if you're trying to, me and Bonnie are trying to share calendars and plan a date or something, we can share our calendar and see what we have free. You can even put, your grocery list on there, your to-do items, what I need to complete today. Meals, recipes, things of that nature. So it's kind of an app with all-in-one. So maybe you don't want the 60 apps on your phone. You want everything, combined into one. Picnic is pretty cool. Or the ClickUp app. This is more for kind of work-related tasks. So this is if you maybe have a lot of Microsoft Teams or Excels, things of that nature, and you kind of want to have one neutral place to put all those things. ClickUp can help with that too. So this is maybe more work related, or if you're doing a lot of like the tracking stuff on that sort of thing, you can put it all into one and just kind of easy access instead of opening all those different apps and documents and stuff like that. So they also have free coaching, webinars, chat and phone. So a lot of them have that capability to connect with someone for more information and more help too. And then, of course, telemedicine. I'm it depends, on which hospital you're using for. So for this example, we're going to use my chart since we work with NM. But my chart is great because now it's everything again at your fingertips. So if you go to the doctor and you get your blood drawn, when your results come in, you can log on to my chart and you can actually see all those results. Or if maybe get an X-ray or something like that, it's all on your portal, on your personal portal. You can see your health summary, your health history, the medications you're on, how long you've been on them. You can see, future appointments, or oftentimes they'll give you reminders. Hey, it looks like you are due for an appointment here soon. So telling you, kind of keeping you on track of your personal appointments. You can also use the chat right there. So the messages with the red arrow there. You can also chat with your doctor, if you have a question that maybe you don't want to have to go in for. So it's kind of that instant messaging. Another one too is very popular is now we don't always have to go into the office or into the doctor's office. Sometimes you can just do the telehealth option and do it virtually, saving some time with travel. Especially like for medication, when you're renewing it, when they make you go in, have your 2-minute conversation, and you're done, renew your medication. This is great for that too, the instant messaging or the virtual option too. So taking advantage of that, I would say majority of the hospitals now have some sort of app. I know Advocate does, and then so utilizing that, seeing your information, having it all in one spot is going to be helpful. And then telehealth, another cool one too is some of these apps are great. It's like a virtual pill box. So it can send you reminders on when to take your medication or what medication that you're currently on, and how often. This is great for caregivers too. They can see how the drugs interact together, or how often you should be taking them, what time, following the steps on how to do it, stuff like that, with food, without food, etc. So again, just another way to stay organized and up to date. CareZone is also cool. It's organizes the health information, and it tells you the vital health services that are around you. So if you're looking for certain things, based on if you're maybe looking for maybe more wellness coaching, someone to just talk to that can give you different services and things that are locally around you to take advantage of those resources. And I did add a couple of links on some of these slides too, so it can give you more information, more options as well. So just final notes. I know it's a little overwhelming with all the options, but just asking for help, listening to other recommendations, doing your own research, and just picking what's best for you is really just the best option. We're going to see more tracking capabilities, right? Who knows what they'll come up with. I mean, even with the facial recognition that they showed earlier, I'm sure stuff like that will probably come into tune with the tracking. Again, just more ways to share this data and information, easy access. And then hopefully down the pipeline, with all this information and tracking capability, we want to see improvement on value-based healthcare. So what that means is they want quality of care over quantity. So, we don't want you to come into the doctor as much because we want to improve that quality of care. And having this information is going to help with that because it's really going to break down, your everyday habits and your tasks and what is happening day in and day out. So using this information to hopefully improve our quality of care and our quality of life is really the main goal. And that's that. Any questions about any of the apps or information that we covered? All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Molly.
Well, that is all we have for this month. We'll see you next year. Thank you.